Hi girls, how are you? Today we start our story, the house on Mango Street, on page 614, 614. The house on Mango Street. We didn't always live on Mango Street. Here's the narrator starts with we, and we know that when we are reading a passage and there is I or we and you, I know that it's told from the first person point of view. So the narrator here is the hero of the story. We didn't always live on Mango Street, so she'll tell us a story that happened to her. It's a fiction, girls. It didn't happen in real life, but I'm talking about the first point of a narrator first point of view. Before that, we lived on Loomis on the third floor, and before that, we lived on Killer. Before Killer, it was Paulina, and before that, I can't remember. But what I remember most is moving a lot. Each time it seemed there would be one more of us. Those four lines, she says that they have moved a lot. She spent all of her life moving from a place to another. It seemed there would be one more of us. It means like they would have another sister or another brother. By the time we got to Mango Street, we were six: Mama, Papa, Carlos, Kiki, my sister Nini, and me. All of these were the family members of her. There would be one of more of us, okay? It means she will have another sibling. The house on Mango Street is ours. They bought it. And we don't have to pay rent to anybody or share the yard with the people downstairs. So here she will start modifying how the previous houses looked like. So in previous houses, they used to share the yard with people downstairs or be careful not to make too much noise, and there isn't a landlord banging. The one landlord is the owner of the building. He will bang on the ceiling with a broom. You know, when you make noise, the one that he wants to ask you to shut your mouth, they will knock on the ceiling with the broom, make like knocking you, so you'll take care and you lower your voice. But even so, it's not the house we would thought we would get. We had to leave the flat, the previous flat, on Loomis quick. Flat is apartment, as you know. The water pipes broke and the landlord wouldn't fix them because the house was too old. We had to leave fast. We were using the washroom next door and carrying water over in empty milk gallons. What? They lived in a flat and the water pump broke in this flat. But the landowner, he didn't want to renew it. So what happened to them? They used to go to the next washroom, not the washroom in their house, next door, and they carried water over in empty milk gallons. That's why Mama and Papa looked for a house, and that's why we moved into the house on Mango Street, far away on the other side of town. We know that the skill we'll learn here is make an inference. Question A, make inferences about character. What can you infer about the family's economic circumstances? Financially, how were they doing? They were what? They have limited financial resources. How? How did you know? How can you guess? Because we read that they lived in a building that has broken pipes and they couldn't afford to fix it. So they had to use the washroom next door and carry the water in empty milk gallons to use them. So how this shows you how poor they were. They always told us that one day we would move into a house, a real house that would be ours for always, so we wouldn't have to move each year, and our house would have running water and pipes that worked. Papa and Mama promised their children that they will give them, or they will eventually have a house with water and pipes. This is their least dreams. And inside it would have real stairs, not hallway stairs, but stairs inside like the houses on TV, like big houses. We move here to page 615. we look at the picture. What do you feel when you look at the picture? Huh? A house. It looks like the house they lived in, the house on Mango Street. But does the house look very good? Luxury house? Or you feel like it has broken bricks, crumbling bricks, right? Dilapidated, dilapidated door, like an old door and crumbling brick. How do you feel when you look at it? So we would have a basement and at least 3 washrooms, as they are taking advantage of what happened to them before. Not only one out or next washroom will have 3 washrooms. So when we took a bath, we wouldn't have to tell everybody. Our house would be white with trees around it, a great big yard and grass growing without a fence. This was the house Papa talked about when he held the lottery ticket. And this was the house Mama dreamed up in the stories she told us before we went to bed. One day we will have a bed, this bed will look like this and that. So the narrator and her sisters and brothers, they have always dreamed of having a beautiful house. But the house on Mango Street, the one they have eventually bought, is not the way they told it at all. It's small and red, with tight steps in front and windows so small you'd think they were holding their breath. The windows are so small. Bricks are crumbling in place, and the front door is so swollen you have to push hard to get in. Swollen, it is, when you hit your head in the hair, so it got swollen. So the door was so swollen you have to push it so hard to get into it. There is no front yard. Only 4 little elms, the city planted by the curb. Elms, small plants. So they didn't have a yard to play. Out back is a small garage for the car. We don't own yet. There is a garage, but we don't have a car. And a small yard that looks smaller between the 2 buildings on either side. There are stairs in our house, but they are ordinary hallway stairs. And the house has only 1 washroom. Everybody has to share a bedroom. Mama and Papa in a room, Carlos and Kiki in a room, Nini and I in a room. Once, when we were living on Loomis, a nun from my school passed by and saw me playing out front. The laundromat downstairs had been boarded up because it had been robbed 2 days before, and the owner had painted on the wood, "Yes, we are open," so as not to lose business. So she tells us that once when they were living on Loomis before they moved to Mango Street, a nun from her school passed and she saw her playing there, and she asked her, where do you live here? What we read now. So she was under the house, and under the house a laundromat, like a laundry downstairs, had been broken because it had been robbed. So people robbed it, so it looks like it's not a safe place to live in there in Loomis. "Where do you live?" she asked. "There," I said, pointing up to the 3rd floor. "You live there?" "There?" So I had to look to where she pointed. The 3rd floor, the paint peeled there. Wooden bars Papa had nailed on the windows so it wouldn't fall out. When you live on the 3rd floor and there are windows, so your father are afraid, so they nail the windows with wood or even with steel. "You live there?" The way she said it made me feel nothing. There I lived, there. I nodded. Let's read the question. Reread lines 33, 43. Consider the narrator's reaction to the nun's remark. What do these lines reveal about the narrator's feelings? When the nun said there, so the narrator looked up to the windows and looked up to the floor, and she noticed the paint peeling and the wooden bars on the window. So she felt what? ashamed, and she felt embarrassed, ashamed and embarrassed to live there. Why do you think she wrote it here with italic? There, 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 and there. Why there and there is italic here? To emphasize what? Emphasize her that she is so ashamed that she lives there. I live there. Yes, what a shame. My name. In English, my name means hope. In Spanish, it means too many letters. It means sadness, it means waiting. It's like the number 9. A muddy color, it is the Mexican records my father plays on Sunday morning when he is shaving, songs like sobbing. The tune here, let's go to the question C. Reread lines 47-50, identify striking words or phrases in this paragraph. What tune does Sincero's word choice convey? We know the word choice reveals the tune because the word choice is the only way the author can give you his feelings. So what is the tune here? Thinkers. The striking words and the phrases. Like what? When she says like number 9, and when she says songs like sobbing is what? Crying. A muddy color. So her word choice conveys a what? Is she happy? No, she's sad. Disconsolate tone, a sad tone. The feeling of longing for something that may never come. She wishes things will never happen. Longing for something that may never come. Here it's written here. Actually, it's not my handwriting. I took this book like this, so forgive me for the mess in this. It's not mine, believe me. Okay, it was my great-grandmother's name, and now it is mine. She was a horsewoman too, born like me in the Chinese year of the horse. We know that Chinese has their special years, a monkey year, a horse year. You know in which year we are? In monkey year. This year is the Chinese monkey year. That's why we are all home, locked down, maybe because of the monkey. Anyway, but I think this is a Chinese lie because the Chinese, like the Mexicans, don't like their women strong. Chinese like what? Like Mexican. She was a Mexican, and they don't like their women to be strong. My great-grandmother, I would have liked to have known her. I wish I have known her. A wild horse of a woman, so wild she wouldn't marry. She didn't want to marry until my great-grandfather threw a sack over her head and carried her off. He married her forcibly. Just like that, as if she were a fancy chandelier. Chandelier is this chandelier in the ceiling with the lights, and that's the way he did it. Chinese year of the horse. In the traditional Chinese calendar, each succeeding year is named after of 12 animals. People born in the year of the horse are thought to be energetic and quick-witted like horse. Look at the picture, girls. The picture what? How the mood of the painting reflects what? Reflects Sincero's tone? How do you feel? An artist whose name is Lisa, she drew this, and it has bright colors, and she's famous of her drawings, colored portraits. So a profile of a girl who's serious, a girl who looks serious and sad. So she is a little bit looks like our narrator here. And the story goes, she never forgave him. She married him, the grandmother married him, but she never forgave him. She looked out the window. Okay, she looked out the window her whole life. And the story goes, she never forgave him. She looked out the window her whole life. The way so many women sit their sadness on an elbow. You know when women sit on the window, they put their elbows under their faces, their hands under their faces. They look out of the window. They put their elbows on on the windows and they look out of it, so as if they put their sadness on it. I wonder if she made the best with what she got, or was she worried because she couldn't be all the things she wanted to be. So here we feel like the girl is exactly like her grandmother. Her grandmother was as wild as she. Both of them were from the horse year, Chinese horse year, and they had the same ambition. They wanted things that they couldn't have. So both of them were sad due to the lack of the things that might make them feel happy and pleased in life. Esperanza, I have inherited her name. Her name is Esperanza. But I don't want to inherit her place by the window. I don't want to sit next to the window and feel sad. When he says here, she never forgave him. She looked out the window her whole life. What is looked out of the window of her whole life? When you have a house, when you feel warm in the house, you sit with your parents, you sit with your siblings, you sit there in the house and you enjoy this time. You enjoy the time you spend with them. But when you live all of your life looking out of the window, you are dreaming of what is outside the house. You want to catch everything outside the house, but actually you can't. You are only allowed to look at these things. You are only allowed to look at your dreams of a window. You cannot follow these dreams. You can just watch your life passes through out of a window. That's why she said this. She said she put her sadness on an elbow, looking out of the window all her life.